Stephen Jones joining us now, talking Cowboys, Commanders, and all the storylines around America's team here. Fridays at 3 o'clock. And a good afternoon, sir. How the heck are you?
Good afternoon, guys.
So what do you think about this rookie quarterback Washington has once again? Is this an up-and-coming force in the division, in the conference? What do you say?
Well, it sure feels like it. He's done a great job for his team there. Of course, good friends there and great relationship with Dan Quinn, and have so much respect for him. And know he's that type of guy to bring a guy like Jaden Daniels along. So, but boy, everything we've seen of him, he seems to be the real deal, and seems to be a great guy both on and off the field. And we'll have our hands full, obviously.
You bring up Dan Quinn. Is there any thought of maybe we should have, moved the earth or whatever it would have took to keep him around here?
Well, we did move a lot of earth to keep him around as long as we did. And but like I said, Jerry and I know Mike McCarthy feels the same way, and know a lot of guys on our defense have so much respect for him. Obviously he's a Super Bowl caliber type coach, took the Falcons to the Super Bowl and was so close to winning it. But, he just does a great job wherever he goes. He's a motivator, and, he's one of the top coaches in this league.
And he took what, 3 linemen, maybe more. Is that maybe a story we haven't spent more enough time on? That Armstrong, Fowler, Biotish, maybe not star players, but quality depth that left this football team with Dan.
Yeah, they're good football players, and I mean, obviously, Dan knew they were good football players, but at the same time, we, unfortunately, had a challenging situation this year, especially at the end spot where Dorrance and Fowler play. Where we've had more than our fair share of injuries. Our top 4 ends have been down most of the year. Now the great news is we're starting to get them back, and we get Nealon back this week. To go with Micah and. So that would be great to have him back out there, and certainly we'll get Bland back. But, it's one of those things where it was a perfect storm type of situation where we, started camp thinking we were in great shape and lost Sam Williams. But as I said, we're getting healthier. And then on the flip side of that, we're sure fired up about the upside in the future of what BB can bring to the table there at center, where we certainly lost, a good quality center to the Commanders and Dan.
Speaking of that offensive line, how's the health of guys like Zach Martin, Tyler Smith, even Tyler Guyton, who's been dealing with injuries?
Yeah, they're all coming along. I think probably it's going to be tough for Zach to play in this game. Unfortunately, he hurt his other ankle. He was already playing, with a shoulder and an ankle. I mean, the guy's a warrior. He plays, through everything. And But this is going to be a tough one for him to make this week. So maybe going without Zach this week, but feel good about Tyler Smith and Tyler Guyton getting back out there.
Zach Martin took a bit of a throat punch on Monday night. I mean, did you see that? What a shot that was.
Yeah, I mean, this game, as you know, it's not for the faint-hearted. I mean, it's a physical game. Certainly, you've got to be one of those guys to be able to be out there and, go through what these guys go through. And Zach Martin's been through, one of those guys that never misses. His accountability is always there. And, I just think, between having 2 ankles and a shoulder, I just think, it's going to be tough for him to be out there against Washington.
Stephen, you mentioned about with Zach and the things he's dealing with, but just generally, when a player has played at such a high level, as a front office, do you just, when you start to maybe seeing the play decrease or the level of play decrease, do you feel like you owe it to him just to let him fight it through? Or do you think about, maybe we have to make a change? How do you think about that or go about with that?
Well, I think as long, as he can, when he's healthy, he can help us win. And I think, obviously you can imagine, Brian, the conversations we had with Zach telling him it's probably not in his best interest to play this week, because you'd have to, if it were totally 100% up to him, he'd be out there.
Right.
And he just doesn't want to let his teammates down. He wants to, and all the more wants to be out there when we're struggling like we are this year. He wants to lead the way, to be fighting it out. And so, it's you've got to look out for his best interest. When Zach is healthy, he gives us the best chance to win. And right now, between the two ankles and the shoulder, he could miss, this game and could miss our Thanksgiving game as well. And, that'd give him some time to get well. But we'll take this one game at a time.
Would you let it totally be his decision Week 18?
On Week 18, yeah. I mean, we're taking one game at a time right now. But I don't want to get into that game right now. I just don't know all the situations and circumstances. But I do know this game's going to be tough for him to play in.
Speaking of right now, I know you've made the decision to go with Cooper Rush. If Trey Lance doesn't end up making a start the remainder of the season, he will be a free agent, as you know. When you look back on that, do you feel like you'd get the return on that investment when you made the decision to trade for him?
Yeah, we feel we'd do that again. I mean, he's a top tier pick, a guy we had at the top. And, as you know, Dak was coming up for contract. And, we wanted to take a look at a good young talent and didn't feel like we could get anything, from a quality standpoint like we could get with Trey. And, as it turns out, we ended up signing Dak long term. And so, obviously that, puts a little less need in terms of, having to rush to, do something with Trey. And matter of fact, makes it hard because of, Trey, I'm sure, is wanting to see what's out there now that we have committed to Dak long term. But I don't regret that at all. That was a situation where you don't know for sure. I mean, Dak obviously controlled his destiny. If he wanted to, he could have decided not to sign and sign somewhere else. And we wanted options. And certainly we just didn't feel like we could get an option, the quality of Trey, in the fourth round to have in the building competing for that job if for some reason Dak wasn't going to be a Cowboy long term.
Stephen, we saw the Giants, move on from Daniel Jones, and it just appears that more teams are willing to just eat large amounts of their cap just to move on. Decisions like that, how difficult are those to make? Or is it just, you got to do it for the best of the club?
Yeah, I think each situation's different, Brian. I mean, it's not New York's situation's different, from Minnesota's situation, which is different from Atlanta's. I mean, everybody's, managing their own team, their own quarterback situation, and, seeing where the opportunities are. And, if you're not pleased, which, and you're not happy with where the situation's going, then you have to make tough decisions. Denver did that with Russell Wilson. Now, obviously, the Giants have done it with Daniel Jones. I think each situation's on its own, and, you have to decide when it's your best interest to start over, and have nothing but respect for, those hard type of decisions.
Mm-hmm.
That's obviously the ones that we went through, when we were deciding and making our decisions with Dak and his future with the Cowboys.
Speaking of Russell Wilson, did you see that game last night played in the snow? Do you like watching games in the snow, or would you prefer across the board like dome stadiums?
No, I enjoy it. I think it brings something to the table, and I enjoyed watching it. I mean, I think it brings a little entertainment factor to it, and certainly can level the playing field real quickly in terms of two teams that are out there, one leading the division and one at the bottom of the division, and Cleveland stepped up and won the game. Hats off to them.
There's no leftover issue opening the roof, is there?
No, we're all good. We checked everything out, and in the name of safety, when we had the incident, we decided to keep it shut. We'd had high winds in North Texas that day, and I just wanted to make sure, we had all our bases covered, and it's ready to open whenever the weather permits. Next time we'll be ready to open it.
Steelers last night going with a pretty good rotation, got some big plays in the run game out of Fields. Any thought more on pushing Lance into the game plan? Looks like Washington struggles to stop the run.
Yeah, I think, Mike's going to obviously he had packages, a couple of weeks ago for Trey, and he'll continue to look for situations where Trey can help make plays and help us win a football game.
The league it keeps talking about international expansion. I think the last time you guys played a game was across the pond, 2014 in England.
Yeah,
I think that's right.
Yeah, Jacksonville. So, I mean, do you have interest in the Cowboys getting involved in some of these international games? Would you like to see that?
Yeah, it's pretty much a mandate of the league. Every team has to take one of their home games and play it internationally, and certainly our time will come. And whether we entertained doing one this year, decided it wasn't going to work out, and so we didn't do it this year. But it could happen as early as next year. It could happen in the next 3 or 4 years. But yeah, every team will take one of their home games and move it over there. And then, of course, you never know when you're going to be, involved in a game where you're the visiting team. So, we've played there in the past. We're open to it, and under the right situations. And as I said, it's a mandate of the league. And as we try to grow the game internationally, I think it's a good thing.
What's the limits on that? What's the footprint? Are you guys going to go to all the continents, all the countries, or is there a select group right now?
Just you take it as it comes. Obviously, we have a lot of interest as a franchise in Mexico, proximity, and all the Cowboy fans that are, Hispanic descent. And so we're real intrigued to play in Mexico. But as you know, we've played in London before and other places. So we played in Canada. But we do have a strong interest in Mexico just because of our strong fan base and interest in the Cowboys in Mexico.
Stephen, I hope you give me a little latitude on this question, but I was just curious, as a front office member, when you're seeing things about your football team and you have a head coach that's in the last year of his contract, is it a delicate situation to maybe try and suggest something you might want to see, when they're trying to fight for their job? I just kind of would think that maybe that puts you guys in a rough situation there. Maybe there's something you want to see, but here's a coach trying to kind of fight for his job, and maybe you don't want to approach it that way.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're trying to win football games. Yeah. And, obviously, we think we've got good players on our team. We hadn't played well as a team, but we do know we have good individual players. But right now we're trying to line up and win a football game against the Commanders. And as we go, we'll continue to evaluate the situation as a whole. Mm-hmm. But right now, we're all hands on deck each week trying to win a football game. So, right now we're not doing the things that allow you to win football games. We turn the ball over. We're losing the turnover battle. We all know those are things that, don't lead to a winning. And then we've got to execute better. We are getting healthier, which, is encouraging and, should help us, have those chances to go out and execute even better and protect the football and take the football away and make the plays that we need to win a football game. So that's where our focus is right now.
Is changing play caller a topic for you guys at all?
No.
What type of reaction do you have when you see guys that you've paid like Lamb and Diggs after a loss kind of out on social media, out at enjoying the club and stuff like that? Does that bother you in any way?
No, I mean, that's they're going to work each and every week to make plays on the field. We obviously got to continue to do better, but no, that doesn't concern me.
Well, Stephen, thank you so much for your time. Good luck heading up there and reminding who owns this thing.
All right. Thank you, guys.